Hello, welcome to Going 19, the Stephen King podcast. This is episode 62. Today we are reading, called The First Story in Hearts in Atlantis, Low Men in Yellow Coats. We are finishing the story, so part 7 through the end. With me, I'm Amber. With me are Ed and Allie, so let's start the show.
Are we leaving that?
I'm fine. I don't care. It was great. Stellar.
Little giggles.
Yeah, I'm like, they're going to wonder why I'm laughing the whole time, but that's what makes it fun.
Hey, like I said, it's unedited only. It's edited only when necessary. I think it says in every episode. So
I mean, that's
I
what
don't feel
podcasts usually are, too.
I don't feel like that was necessary. So. Okay, so here we go.
The one thing, and there's a lot to talk about, but the one thing that struck me the most was like, as much as you want to be mad at Bobby's mom for everything that happened, like, it's so hard because you know she's still in shock from everything that she just went through. So it's like you can't even blame her.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're gonna start there, what the fuck happened? They like raped her and beat her. Is that what I'm getting out of that?
So when I read it, it became a lot more clear than when I read it the first time. But it basically seems like, they've been making passes or they've been making advances or like saying like, you have to do this to get the promotion at work because she's been trying to get this promotion for so long. So she
And the
thought,
girl before her, it turns out, quit rather abruptly. I think, right?
Right. So she went on this trip, I think, assuming that would be her final. Like, all right, they're going to finally promote me and I don't have to deal with any of this crap anymore. Not realizing that they...
Then why was she like crying and upset and shit all the time leading up to it?
Well, probably, I mean, she probably suspected it wasn't safe, but like, I don't know. I guess everything that had been happening at work hadn't gone that far until...
Maybe she knew she was doing something she shouldn't have, but she didn't realize how bad it was going to be.
Or maybe it was consensual.
Well, maybe it was consensual, or maybe it just hadn't gone to the degree to which they took it that night.
Right. Or like maybe it was, I mean, it's not really consensual when it's your job on the line, but like she had, said okay, and then I clearly had not that night.
Yeah.
Or maybe she did it first, and yeah, who knows? I mean, yeah, it's awful, and I still don't really like her, but...
Man, that whole scene was so incredible when she immediately sees, like Ted and Carol, and then she's freaking out, and then Carol's freaking out because she's like, oh my God, what happened to your mom? And then Bobby is like, how come my mom won't care about me at all? Like, it's just like there's so much going on. It was so charged.
Yeah.
I know I'm sorry, I'm jumping right into it, but it's just so like that stuck out to me so much.
Well, and especially Carol being able to like hear and see everything, and I'm like, you are like 11 years old. You should not be
right
to that trauma of what this older woman went through. And she's just like, I can still hear her screaming.
Yeah, she's still processing her own trauma.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, because Ted helped her, so she had to shine for a little while.
Yeah.
Well, you guys don't know anything about the rest of the book, right?
I mean, only what you told me, that like they all fail because of hearts.
Yeah,
that's just the next story. That's not the rest of the book. Sorry, what?
Oh no, I started reading that story a little bit.
Yeah, that's just that there's 4 stories, so it's one of them, and they're all about like Sully, Carol, and Bobby as they get older and older, I guess. Carol basically becomes a terrorist, is on the run from the government for the rest of her life.
Jesus.
So I think there may be some correlation going on there. Just saying.
Well, I mean, Bobby he definitely has some anger issues to work out.
I guess I have to say spoiler alert in case, well, that book's like 20 years old, right? I don't have to say that. So yeah, that scene is, I hated her when I was reading it, but I understood why. I guess is the way to say that.
Exactly. Like I wished it had been different, but when I was reading it, I didn't feel angry at her. Like I wanted to be angry, but I was like, oh, this poor woman. Like, come on.
Because up to that point, I have forgotten the worst thing that she did. Really, with the sign
Turning
that
her
she
in.
what do
Yeah,
you
me
call
too.
it? The signpost thing that she found and she turned him in.
Right.
And then even at the very fucking end, she's like, I didn't take the money, and he knows she did because he got tedded up. So he's like, she's still lying about it. Like, just
Yep.
fucking.
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, you know what? I kind of don't feel bad for you. I mean, I kind of do, but I kind of don't, because what the fuck? You're still lying to your kid. You've been lying the entire time.
I mean, it hurt a lot, but I will say I did feel the way Bobby finally did, where he was the bigger man, the 11-year-old boy, and was like, look, she was worried that I wasn't going to come home, which means some part of her does love me and care about me. And that's what I was kind of holding on to as well. And it's like, she's an awful person, but she's your only mother.
Yeah, I could go down some rabbit holes with that, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah, like for me, just because she's your mother does not mean that she earns your love and respect or like deserves it just because she's family. I don't feel like that's how that works.
Yeah, but at 11, I think it's
Yeah.
enough. Like
And they don't have any other family.
Yeah.
She's all he's got, like it or not. So if he can make it work, he's going to.
Yeah.
And
Well,
then
just like Ted said, like even though she may not like you, she still loves you and she still will take care of you.
I mean, how many? I mean, that's like every family, right? Might not
It
like
was-
them, but you love them.
it was kind of funny how I was like, she was finally growing on me at the very end, where it's her lying for her son and being his alibi with the cops, where I'm like, oh yay, she does care about him.
Yeah.
Well, that or she's good at lying, so she just did what she's used to.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, it's like a warped, because it's, is that good parenting? I don't know.
I was happy.
Right, that's my point. I'm like,
I
yay,
think-
she does care about him because she's lying to the police.
I can't believe that. I'm about to call him names. That bully told his mom on like this kid that's half his size. It's like, is that really the road you want to go down?
He's probably not used to, like, he probably is spoiled rotten, not used to anyone ever getting anything up on him.
He's probably never actually gotten his ass beat before.
Yeah.
They were like, what the hell happened to you?
I'm definitely
It seems like maybe the mom has kind of like done an ass whipping before, and that's why he told. But I couldn't believe the mom, with her being like, "How dare you lie to the police?" Like, how does she know?
That's why I get the sense that he's spoiled, because the mom immediately is like, my boy would never lie. You're a liar. Like,
yeah, she was acting like she knew for a fact. They're like,
yeah,
like you goddamn, yeah. Then she was threatening him in front of the cop. It's like, oh, that's a smart move,
right.
and the kid was too. Like, well, I know. And then a cop said something about her dad. I mean, sorry, damn, that was a Freudian slip. Her husband beating her ass.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, so like I kind of know. So I guess he has gotten his ass beat before, but not by a kid. Probably, if I had to guess.
Yeah,
Certainly.
I'm also like, I don't know if you should really make a joke out of that, but whatever. At least you believe. Like, I'm not on their side.
A joke out of what?
As he says, you should file a complaint on your husband. You have more witnesses. I'm like, oh, burn, nice.
Oh, well, the cops, they're probably regular, so he's probably tired of dealing with them,
I know,
like
but still, she is a victim.
Yes, but they probably have to keep coming back because she keeps not pressing charges, something like that. Well, I mean, that's a tough situation.
I know, I agree. Because eventually she'll just be dead. So it's like, what do you do?
Right. Then she calls cops on him, and then he comes back to the house. You got all that, and then he'll get out at some point, and she might have to run, and then she'll have no money. All that. It's not as simple as it.
But to be fair, maybe it is appropriate in the situation where she's being indignant about her son, even if her son is right. But it doesn't matter.
I picture when that guy was talking, I pictured Richie's Irish cop voice.
Yeah. I also like how they mentioned like 2 or 3 times that the kid or one of the kids were Irish, and it's like, yeah, we get it. I guess Irish people beat people up. Like, move on.
I guess I still think this has a lot of autobiographical elements between the bullies and the mom-son relationship and all
Right.
that. And we all know he's never actually said that I know of, but boy, he had some tough bullies apparently. I think his brother, said like he hated school because he was always getting bullied or something like that.
Well, I also wonder if he had like, I know this is very common, but there's a recurring theme of the young women being sexually assaulted in his stories as well. So like I wonder if he had a friend or if it's just because he knows that it's common.
Yeah, like what did the whole mom thing have to like? This is like well, the story about many things, but why was that part of it? I guess.
I will say there was a point where I was like, so this story, the moral of the story is that men are bad no matter what age. Okay, cool. I already knew that, but just kidding.
Yeah, well, yeah, you haven't read Sleeping Beauties yet. My God, you think that? I told you about that one. What they do in that?
I think the mom part is to do what he always does, to humanize her. Like it's not so black and white.
Well, that's true. Is that one of them things where he was just writing and it like just came to him? It's like, hey, let's make her an abused victim while Bobby's got. Well, maybe she needed to be that for Bobby to have the relationship with Ted, I guess. Something like that.
That's what I was thinking too. Like it creates the perfect dynamic for there is no father figure. He has to love her, but he hates her at the same time. And I kind of was getting that feeling. I'm like, Ted is like Mary Poppins, like to him, to Bobby.
And he's like, kind of a. Say again?
No, go ahead.
He's kind of a loner too, you know, like his namesake, I want to say. He's kind of a loner. He's something of a, I guess, book nerd who's just learning to graduate to the good stuff.
At 11.
Right. I don't. How old were you? You were probably younger than 11, but
I think I was 10 when I started Stephen King.
I don't. It's probably the longest 10 years of my life. I'm like, come on, get old enough already. Well, I think Grammy would say you're probably still not old enough.
No, not now, but. He was a loner. He's a nerd.
It's the perfect.
He had friends though. I guess
it's the perfect dynamic, which I guess is what you. I mean, he did and he didn't. But he had a couple of friends. You know, Sully was out of town meeting the friends that he was going to make for the rest of his life.
Wasn't it like 1 week?
I think it was, but it sure seemed longer, didn't it?
What'd you say, Allie?
I thought it was at least like a month-long summer camp or something.
Yeah, that's what it felt like, but I thought it was like something he won in a raffle.
I'm pretty sure it was a week, but it felt like a month. I don't know for a fact. It just so much happened.
It changed him. He like grew up. Summer.
Yeah, that's what I said. The friends he's gonna have the rest of his life. Him and I can't remember. Yeah, the other kids from camp, like they just started. What does he say? Like he stopped sitting near Bobby on the bus and just kind of started sitting with the other guys. Like,
also, why is a lion bigger, like more than a wolf? Wolves are way better. I guess actually, I don't know. Would a pack of lions beat a pack of wolves? That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure yes.
Smaller.
What'd you say? Wolves are smaller?
Yeah.
Yeah, but like all of the wolves, never mind. I don't know enough about. I was gonna say, don't they all hunt? Or is like the lions? It's only the females that really do the hunting.
Yeah, because lions are smart.
Kind of. I mean, the females definitely do the majority of the hunting, but both hunt in packs.
Right, that's what I was thinking. I was like, ooh, that picture.
Yeah, but lions
was interesting.
They have like big ass claws and big fucking mouths. Like they could probably fit a wolf's head in their mouth.
Yeah, but that like just because you have claws and teeth doesn't mean you're more fierce. Like cheetahs are useless.
But their lions are big. Cheetahs are not useless because you'll never get anywhere near a fucking cheetah if they don't want you to.
Right, but just follow it until it runs out of gas because that's the only thing it can do is run fast for like 10 minutes and then it has zero energy after that. So cheetahs frequently get their kills stolen by other animals like lions because they have no way to defend themselves after they kill something.
Oh, maybe they need to run a little further.
Sorry, this
I'm
is
not.
way off topic, but
Yeah.
they're the most useless of the big cats out there. Sorry, cheetahs, but not sorry.
How do you feel about leopards?
So,
Pumas.
Leopards are more useful because I believe they can climb in trees. I
yes,
think.
they could.
Yeah.
I think a cheetah can too. Don't they always hang out in trees, like in the
No,
National Geographic videos?
well, cheetahs
Where-
are the only big cats that don't have retractable claws, so they actually can't climb.
Yeah, they're useless.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue with that because they're seeming to be. No wonder they're fast because otherwise they'd be dead.
Right. But even
Nothing
then,
else
they
they could
can't.
do.
Like, yeah, okay, doesn't matter.
So, Sully is
National Geographic.
Yeah.
right. Free promo. Sully is a lion, not a wolf to Amber's eternal chagrin, I suppose.
I'm just saying, I don't. I think I would be equally terrified if one was in front of me.
So, well, that's. I think you're equally fucked if one's in front of you. Yeah. I like how. So they go. So we left off. They were about to go in the bar, right, to make the bet. They haven't even made the bed yet.
Yep, his
Made
dad's favorite place.
Yeah.
According to his mom.
I like how he finds out that. You know, it's like he starts. This is where he starts to figure out that his mom maybe is not the greatest person in the world.
Well, I think they were already like he knew about the money jar. Like he knew that every time he said they didn't have anything, she was lying about that. Like there are little bits.
Yes, and that's more of her. He was yes, that was the cheapskate part. He was already calling her that, but this is more.
That's true. That's true.
More of an all-around thing. Like all. There's just more lies upon lies upon lies. You know. Like
Yeah, that's true. Like,
she's
do you say anything?
He never met an inside straight he didn't like. Well, I don't even know what that means, other than I guess he had a gambling problem. And they were like, "No, that's not the guy we knew."
Yeah.
You know,
Also,
go ahead.
even the explanation for that though, I kind of was like, God damn it! Like I get it, where it's like she didn't even realize that she had forgotten who her husband really was because she put all those things into a box so it wouldn't hurt her anymore. I'm like, why are you so human?
I like that explanation too. It's like, damn it, but okay, but damn it, because like she had forgotten to, you know, I don't know how to say it, love the guy that she couldn't remember the guy she loved. She remembered all the things that were bad about him because that's the only way she could to survive.
Hurting. Right.
Because I mean,
I don't fully understand that though, because like unless your husband who you loved died and really did treat you wrong, like I get that. But if he wasn't that bad of a guy, why would you demonize him just so you wouldn't hurt?
she's still mad at him.
Well, definitely that, like angry at him for leaving her so soon. The way I see it is like it's not. I don't know that she necessarily demonized him on purpose, but she made herself forget all of the good parts of him, and so she knew that he would go to the bar once a week, and so in her mind that became he had a gambling problem because she refused to think about anything good because then that would just make her miss him more, like in a weird way.
Yeah, I don't even know if it was a conscious thing. It's just
right. So that just becomes, he had a gambling problem. Like she probably believed that after a certain point.
And maybe maybe there's a part of her that does believe it because she doesn't understand that gambling once a week and still paying your bills is not a gambling problem.
Because she's a freaking cheapskate, so she just knows he's going there,
spending money that he could have been saving in a sock drawer.
right. That's why. Oh God, yeah.
She's very complex, a lot more than it seems at first,
right, and that's why it's like almost annoying. I'm like, why do you make me sympathize with her?
And I was actually growing soft until the end not the epilogue part, but the Carol part where when she said she didn't take the money from Ted's thing. Like, come on, man, I was actually starting to feel for you until you did that.
It's like, I mean, I get like, yeah. It's like on the one hand, she doesn't know he can read her mind, basically, but that doesn't matter. It's not an excuse to lie to him.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if it's the two of them against the world, which it clearly is, then like it's not. I mean, it's not a normal mother-son relationship. It's more of a team, so there can't be that. Like parents will lie to their kids, protection, blah blah blah, a million reasons while they're little. But at this point, I don't think she should be lying to him for any reason.
Well, and it's not, and yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know. I could probably think of one. Definitely not at this point. Like everybody knows she's a cheapskate. What is the point? She's like, yeah, I guess because she didn't want him to hate her, which is interesting, given their relationship.
Yeah, you wouldn't think she would really care, but I guess she feels like she needs that over him to like help control him, maybe.
Well, he mouths off a little bit and calls her some names. He's like, "Oh, don't." No, I think she backhanded him without even looking or something, and
Yeah.
shut him up real quick. He's like, "Don't you talk to me like that, Bobbio," or something.
Yeah,
So
the second time he dodged it, and he was like, "Say whatever you want, hit me if you want. I'm gonna hit you right back."
that made me uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
especially because she had just been beaten so badly, like.
But he's an 11-year-old boy. Like she could definitely hurt him more than he could hurt her at this point.
I have a problem with people who want to be violent against their mothers.
Okay, well, that's not what I'm condoning at all. But
right.
I'm just saying.
I know. I'm just saying that's why it was like, oh, don't go there, man. Like,
I
you
don't
do
think
that.
I didn't. Whatever. My impression was that like he was calling her bluff, not that he would have actually hit her. But I also, if she was actually hurting him, I guess that's where the issue comes in, because she's doing it as a parent and he's like threatening her. But I just saw it as him defending himself.
I mean, that's also, I guess, true because he is not a full-grown person.
But he does clearly have anger issues.
Well, he keeps doing the foreshadowing thing where Bobby's going to have some law troubles, and you can see it almost blossoming how it develops. And
I mean, immediately with him in the baseball game, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you, kid? Like, chill out.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that? Was he just mad at the world? What was he so angry about? Because Ted left?
Because Ted left, because he decided to stay with his mom, which is ultimately the best thing, but I'm sure he still regrets part of that. Like, he's also about to hit puberty.
Let's not forget, he had to stand there in the middle of the fucking street and say, take him, I'm too much of a coward to go.
Right. Which, to be honest, I think that is like the toughest thing you could have done. I'm like, he should not feel bad about that.
That doesn't make it easy. I agree. That's probably the toughest thing he could have done. Like that, as in hardest decision he could have ever made, especially for a goddamn 12-year-old.
Right. Like, ask one of the Lost Boys if they would have made that decision.
Oh, damn, you threw me off of that
one. The answer is no.
Yes, I was trying to get there. I was like, wait a minute, what would the answer there be? Yeah, because I don't know that at my age I'd want to sit there and like send someone to their death almost. Maybe not. Then send someone to some fucking prison that I can't even wrap my head around for the rest of their life. Like how much guilt would that involve while you're just living your best life, doing your thing, going to college, and always in the back of your mind is like, oh, remember that guy
especially
that I sent to that death camp?
Especially being a child and not having the ability to comprehend that, like, it's not your fault, it's not your decision. Ted knew what he was getting himself into. He made the decision to leave too. Like,
yeah,
and it's Ted's fault in that Bobby should have never known what a low man was.
Yeah, I like how he was like, oh, Bobby, you're not in trouble, and they almost kidnapped him anyway. Like, all right, Ted.
Ted almost kidnapped him?
No, the low men. They were like, but I
Oh.
want him, which is weird. Why would the Crimson King care?
Well, we don't know anything about that guy, so it almost seemed like a fucking like blood sacrifice or something.
Yeah, he
Like
said
here, like
something
eat
about a
this.
trophy.
Yeah, that. So, that was nothing to do with the Dark Tower until what, the last 20 pages or so, and it became all Dark Tower all the time, and then
Oh,
and
I
then
feel
you
like
kind of realize, wait, the whole book was really about the Dark Tower. That's what Ted was doing. Like you almost have to read it again. You have to go back, go, okay, now, well, no, you can't read it again yet, but after it's over, you almost have like
all the
everything
hints that he
text.
drops about like, oh, I guess you could say it was a prison. I'm like, oh, I know where he was.
Oh my god, I want to talk about that so bad.
Or one of the low men says, did you get laid? You probably won't have a chance again. And I'm like, probably? I don't think there's a lot of that happening with the breakers.
Okay, well, let's just.
Sorry.
So, Allie, what do you know so far? What do you
They said
think's going
breaker
on
in
here?
the book. I didn't
I know. I don't know that they explained. I think they explained it, but I'm not sure. So I want to know what.
Well, I mean, you kind of get inferences of what it is. Like, it's. I actually got a little bit more about knowledge about the Dark Tower from this book.
That's what I was saying. That whole paragraph about the tower and the breakers. I was like, shit, we haven't learned any of that yet.
Yeah,
That was-
they're trying to basically break the beams that are attached to the tower so the universe unravels or something, is what it sounded like.
More or less.
I wrote it down, 292. There is a tower, he thought. It holds everything together. There are beams that protect it somehow. There is a Crimson King and breakers working to destroy the beams, not because the breakers want to, but because it wants them to, the Crimson King.
Yeah. Which I knew none of that to this point. So I was like,
I said at the end of that book, I think you learn more than you have in the 4 books before it.
How does Ted know what Roland and them are up to though? Just because he has the touch?
That's a very complicated question.
Like, how could he know that? Without them, well, I guess the Crimson King does know that also. Maybe he knows it. Okay, never mind.
We don't know where or when Ted is.
Right.
Escaping from.
Right. I was assuming that the Crimson King and those people didn't know, but they do know where Roland is, so never mind.
I mean, they've known from the beginning.
Right.
There's a pretty good synopsis in that Little Sisters of Eloria, but I have some issues with what they say, so you guys should definitely at least read that introduction. Well, I mean, we're going to read it, so read the introduction. He calls him the Dark Man the whole fucking time in the introduction. So I'm like, okay, you lost credibility right away.
That's what I was gonna say. I think he just forgets a lot of things. So I think there's a lot of questions that will never be answered.
Dark Man, you mean the Crimson King, or
who? Stephen King?
Yes, Stephen King. Like, meaning, are Walter and whatever the same person, and why is this and this different? And it's just like, oh, because he forgot.
Well, he doesn't write the introduction. It's not him.
Oh.
It's someone else saying, okay, so up to this point, here's where we're at. I don't think it's him.
Allie's question, is the Dark Man the Crimson King or the Man in Black?
The Man in Black.
Okay.
Yeah, he's caught, and then finally he meets the Dark Man, and then him and the Dark Man, I was like, oh my god, stop fucking saying that. Like, I can't take it anymore.
Did the person who wrote that even read the stories?
Right. I think, Allie, I was trying to get your point of view on what we know so far.
Well, we know that
from the Dark Tower.
Yeah, because there's.
Yeah. Well,
there's a.
Because remember when I was talking when we were, I think it was like, I don't remember if it was Drawing of the Three or the Wastelands, but I was like, I didn't even know if Roland was going to save the Dark Tower or destroy it. I just knew that he needed to go to the Dark Tower.
Well, yeah, I don't even think we knew that there was a like save or destroy. It was just he needed to get there.
He needed to get there and sing the names, and I'm like, that does what?
Yeah, because
Did it say he had to sing the names? Do we?
At the end of one of them, yes.
Yeah, he did.
Because that's the first time we hear the name Susan.
Yeah, he said he was going to. I don't know if he. I don't. I still don't. I don't actually remember if he. I guess he does. I don't remember.
I mean, are you asking if he says he has
No,
to
no,
or
no,
he
no, no, no.
wants to?
Yes, that's what
It
I'm
doesn't.
saying.
I don't think it matters.
We don't know the answer to that at this point. So
Yeah.
so I guess back to.
Can I say that we know Ted is a breaker? Is that too much? Because I already said it.
Well, we do know because it was verbatim said in this book.
Okay, good.
Or story, whatever.
There's. I'm scared to say a lot here. This book, we're reading this for Ted, not so much Bobby. And you don't
So
know
much.
that.
Not at all.
Well, I guess that's true. As far as we're concerned, yes, it's a good story, and I actually like Bobby, and I wish I had more of him. I kind of wish he went with Ted just so I could see what happened.
I like that he is like almost every other Stephen King child protagonist. I mean, we have Jake to get back to. Like, come on.
Yeah, the other 12-year-old, and yeah, it was like Bobby's like Jake while we're away from Jake for a little while.
Although, so last time we podcasted, you guys were saying like, "Oh my gosh, like Ted is so powerful, and I can't believe the blah blah blah" or something. Like, I felt like when he got taken by the low men, he was gonna like fight them or something. Like we were gonna see him do something. So when that didn't happen, I was like, "The heck." Like,
I still don't really understand that because you can see in that scene how important Ted is to them.
yeah.
So powerful, and that's kind of a giveaway there that they know he's powerful. Now we know he's pretty damn powerful because he was able to bargain with them. These aren't the bargaining kind of people.
Yeah.
But so if he's if he's that damn powerful, why didn't he just like fucking erase all their minds and leave them like raving idiots on the sidewalk and walk away?
And the only thing I can think of to explain that would be like if he was doing it because of Bobby. But I
think I know why
I know
it didn't happen, but go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I was saying like I ultimately like I don't know what he can do or what he's actually capable of. So like this was just what I was getting from what you guys said last time.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely very powerful in the sense that like his touch, window is very strong.
Right,
but,
people that touch him get ESP for a couple days, so that's how powerful he is.
But what he can, like, how he can use that defensively might be different. I honestly don't remember. The only thing I'll say without spoiling is I know. Never mind. I won't say anything.
Yeah, be careful. Be careful with him.
Yeah, I know he's not useless. That's for sure.
We know he's powerful, but we just don't know anything else. How powerful is he? Are there others that are as powerful as him?
What I do find interesting.
What do you say?
Well, not according to Ted, because he was like, "You need me because there are others, but I'm better than all of them."
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
well, that leads into what I was saying is Ted has made a bargain to speed up the whole thing that Roland and his friends are trying to stop.
Yeah, I didn't like that. That doesn't seem like a fair trade. Sorry, Bobby, but
right? I was thinking that too. I was like, Bobby for the universe?
Universes.
Yeah, for all of them. I don't think so. I'm with your mom on this one, kid.
It sounds, a little mean, but you should have stayed the fuck home, and you knew that.
Right. Because what happened? Yeah. He got taken anyway. And in fact, now, if you had stayed home, he wouldn't have had to make that deal.
He wouldn't have made that deal. He would, and even if the low man never showed up and he never saw Ted, he would have got killed by the damn street gang with I can't think of their names, the Spanish names.
The other low men.
Yeah, the regular low men.
Well, I don't know if
the
they,
one that tell him about the woman.
the ones that were trying to get him to pay them.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would have killed him, but yeah, he definitely wasn't safe.
I mean, it seemed like a very high potential for a stabby situation.
For sure, yeah.
I was cracking up when he was, you know, when they're riding back and they passed, I think, the Purple DeSoto, and they have to like think of something else, and Bobby's all up in Carol, hot, steamy Carol, and then like I think the next time he sees her, his face goes red like instantly, and she's like, "What's wrong?" He's like, "Nothing." Or no, when he was crying in the bushes, he told her everything, and then like his face went red when he got to that part. He's like, "Oh, but he didn't tell her that," and she's like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, nothing. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that." And that was, I mean, I get that. I don't know how to say it. 12-year-old love isn't developed. But like one day they were boyfriend and girlfriend kissing on top of the thing, and the next day she's fucking scared of him when he. Like, I thought she was just scared of him because she saw like he was different and he's beating people up, but she's so happy at who he beat up. And as far as I know, that's the only bad thing he's done. But now she's scared of him. I was like,
I didn't quite get that either. Because, like, if you're happy that he beat up the person who attacked you, then why are you scared of him? Because you know he's not going to do that to you.
I mean,
right?
I think that's probably a fair reaction. Like,
Shouldn't that mean he's getting lucky tonight after he defended her honor?
yeah, but I mean, I don't want to. I hate to go there, but it reminds me of like the whole Will Smith situation, where it's like, should you be happy that he defended your honor, or should you be worried that something else is going on?
Wow, way to turn it. Well, now I don't know the answer. I thought I did.
Like, I get why she's happy and scared. I would, it's relatable.
Will Smith wasn't mad until he looked at Jada and saw she was mad. He's like, "Hey, wait a minute, I'm mad."
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't. To be honest, I don't think it has anything to do with her. I think it all has to do with him and what's going on inside of him. But it's not the point.
Right.
I'm not. That's neither here nor there.
Right. So what did I say? 36. We got 36 and 48. I think I got to edit those.
My point was, I don't think that's an uncommon reaction. Like, I think it would be a little weirder if she was all like, "Oh, my hero, please beat up everyone for me."
Well, no, but I mean, damn, they fucked her up mentally and physically, and considering what happened right after that, like it exploded into a massive thing. So I don't know that I don't know. I guess I can't relate to being a 12-year-old girl, so I don't think I would be scared of him, but maybe.
Well, maybe if you see all the other men in your life are violent, just because he's defending you, it's still violence.
Yeah. All he did was beat him with a bat. It's not like he did it with his hands.
Okay. Are we really going to go there?
Well, that would have been a lot more, what do you call it? Personal. Making up.
I don't think you should draw that line, but that's my personal opinion.
No, I'm not. Violence. I avoid violence at all costs. So.
You just like to pretend like you're going to fight everyone.
All right. Well, it doesn't mean you can't, you don't have to get loud.
Yeah.
I can argue to the end of the earth. We have to get physical.
Oh no, I'm saying I've never seen you get physical. I've just seen you like to start trouble.
Well, sometimes people just. Anyway, let's not do that. I'm trying to be nice to everyone at this point in my life, but it's a mixed bag.
I'm not saying, yeah. I wasn't saying you're mean. It's just funny.
Yeah, I was trying.
My point is more that people are very defensive.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think maybe again Stephen King is not in his element when he's talking about her reactions. But But then again, I think he did write this after. Actually, he wrote it right. I think between 4 and 5, or yeah, between 4 and 5.
Oh wow. Wait, what? How could he have all of the stuff with Ted isn't until like 7?
I know.
He never
Oh, wait,
thinks ahead like that though.
he must have just, I don't know. I just picture him staring out the window one day, looking at the lake or something, and like getting ready to start thinking about the tower again, and just like shit just starts coming. What if there
He
was
goes into a trance.
what if because he had already established that the beams were falling. He's like, what if there were people that were trying to help the beams?
Oh, also I like how when he says one of the lowmen tries to say all things serve the king, and he's like, no, all things serve the beam. Okay.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, it got all Dark Towery at the end there when they were like talking. This is some good stuff.
Yeah, it's almost like we went through a portal from like regular Stephen King, like, whoa, now we're in the Dark Tower again.
Yeah, we went from small town Maine to the middle of Midworld or something.
End of the podcast. Everybody say bye.
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 Bye.